morning, brothers and sisters. Our Bible verse for today is taken from Romans 14, chapter 13. And it says, "So then, let us stop judging one another. Instead, you should decide never to do anything that would make others stumble or fall into a sin." This verse offers a practical and simple guidelines for Christians living, something that the followers sometimes find challenging. But before we dive into its meaning, let us look at some backgrounds. Paul wrote to the believers in Rome, explaining God's work for both Jewish and Gentiles. He discussed sin's grip on humanity in details, highlighting how Jesus sets us free, then explained the implication of this freedom, emphasizing living sacrificially for God and transforming our minds away from worldly standard. The rest of the letter gives a practical advice for Christian living. In chapter 14, Paul focuses on two main points. Number 1, do not judge fellow believers. Number 2, do not tempt fellow believers. Let us explore these ideas. Firstly, do not judge fellow believers. Verse 13 says, "So then let us stop judging one another." Paul addresses conflicts among Christians caused by differing views. While certain behaviors are clearly sinful, not all matters are explicitly addressed in the Bible, leading to disagreement over how to exercise freedom in Christ. This results in believers unfairly judging each other. Paul urges them to stop this behavior. He reinforces this idea with the next part of the verse, which leads us to the second point. Do not tempt fellow believers. Continuing verse 13, Paul says, Instead, you should decide never to do anything that would make others stumble or fall into a sin. He commands us to avoid putting stumbling blocks in the way of fellow Christians, causing them spiritually harm. Paul encourages those strong in faith to be considerate of others' weaknesses, even if it means giving up some freedoms. Paul gives us the consequence of doing this to our fellow believers. Verse 15, "If you hurt others because of something you eat, then you are no longer acting from love. Do not let your action harm those for whom Christ died." In conclusion, let us commit to not judge or tempting our fellow believers. Instead, let us show grace and build each other up in Christ. Brothers and sisters, have a blessed day.